These are just the kind of clouds you want to have a really nice sunset. We'll see how it all pans out. Yes, I was late on the bell. Well, either way, the sky is pretty now. It's Thursday. My last two rides were the big beach ride that I was in the car, I think almost 4 hours, coming and going to get up to Torrance Beach, and Tustin yesterday, and that was a little over an hour each way. So time for something local. It's Thursday. They do a sunset market on Thursdays here in Oceanside. I'm not going to promise much of a look at it because I ride my bike up to the edge, and I guess I would not really feel comfortable locking it up and leaving it out of my sight in that kind of situation. Just too many people. But I'll ride up to the edge and hold the camera way up high, see what we can see. We have a couple hours before sunset. No, it's not true. An hour. No, it's 4:30. Boy. The Sunset Market, I think, runs 5 to 9. I wonder if after daylight savings time in about a month, if they move it to 4 to 8. Because come December, by the time 5 o'clock rolls around, it's more or less dark here. So I read in the San Diego News Tribune that after a number of years they plan to start construction on all this stuff over here. Surf pool, hotels, shops, a bunch of houses. But anyway, next spring. Good to see there are still observers of the Silly Walk. John Cleese would be pleased. I saw a video of a guy who set a world record for running on all fours. They showed him running around the track. I'm not sure the details of how far he had to go or how fast he went, but I bet it's good exercise. So I'm hoping to get in 4 more rides before I leave town next week. I only mention that because by the time this video drops, I'll be already back in town. I'm that far ahead. This is Thursday, so I'm playing games Sunday. Usually I don't do a big ride on Monday, but I had a very interesting ride planned to do with Bob. Last week, but it had just rained and we weren't sure if it was done or not. so we decided to put it off. But if the weather is good, even though I'm flying out Tuesday, I think I still want to try to do the ride. What if the plane goes down? I want one more. My wife hates those jokes, but she also never watches my videos, so. In fact, shortly after they'd started them, she came in one time and I'm in the living room watching one of the rides on YouTube, and she just walked in and said, "I knew it would come to this." Yeah, I had a long conversation with a woman on the train. We were coming back from Tustin to Oceanside, and that's over an hour, so. Once I lost my Wi-Fi and couldn't watch Chopped anymore on my phone, we had a lovely conversation. Told her about why there are so many good bike paths up in Orange County, because of all the rivers, and how these bike paths are really just because there's already this other infrastructure and it's not that much trouble to add a bike path in. As we were getting to Oceanside, she said, "Well, that was all very interesting. Thank you very much." And I said, "Oh, I'm just glad to have someone to talk to about this. All my friends are sick of hearing about it, and now I have to assault strangers on the train." Saw a very interesting video on YouTube, ways that Amtrak could improve their service considerably with the existing tracks and not having to go to a high-speed rail type thing. One of the things is they don't have control over a lot of the track. They're using track that freight companies control, and so they get delays all the time they can't do anything about. But they also mentioned a new kind of engine that will slow down and accelerate faster. Apparently it takes 2 to 4 minutes for the train to come up to speed after it pulls away from a dead stop, and this will do it in 1 to 2 minutes. And they said it doesn't seem like much, but you add it up, and some routes it would shave a half hour off the route. Yes, I was thinking of things that I've done more since I moved to California than I had in all the years before I moved here. Applying sunscreen, doing bicycle rides, riding trains. I think going to the doctor, but that seemed morbid somehow, and would prompt more questions than I felt like dealing with, because it's really just that I get a lot more checkups than I used to. So far everything's fine, and they keep looking, so. Oh, and saying no worries. Well, it just now opened up, but we're on this side of the tracks, and that's where the Sunset Market is, so we'll ride up there and get a look at that first, and I'll probably do a Harbor and Strand ride before I head back. There we go.